it amplifies it a lot.
It makes your food taste better and shit.
Dude, way better, dude.
All right, everybody, welcome to Hot Couch Potato, the podcast where we talk about video games and play anime dating sims. My name is Brent, aka Buop. I'm here with my man's Rick, aka A New Perfect Day. What's going on, man? How you been?
Good, man. I'm really excited for PlayStation Experience since I learned that everybody has been buying up their tickets and there's going to be more people coming this year with us. So I guess we're going to be going in separate groups, but still, knowing the fact that all of our friends, all of our buddies are going to be playing the games and, going through the same experience we went through, especially when we sat in the crowd, when they released all those games at the time. It was a real blast learning and finding out the stuff that they released.
Yeah, it should be a good time. The tickets came out on Thursday, I believe, so we all picked it up. Should be a good time. That's legitimately the best video game convention I've been to. I guess we've only been to like 3 or 4, but that's still the best one to date. I mean, I think I've had the best time at that one. And it's just great that they're going to have it at Anaheim again, because there was rumors that it would move, because it was in San Francisco and Las Vegas, I believe, the 2 prior years. Fortunately, they liked Anaheim so much they kept it there. So should be good times, man. I'm excited too. I'm really excited. I want to see what they reveal. I feel like they've been holding back. I know Gamescom is coming up in Germany. There's Tokyo Game Show. There's like 2 or 3 more video game conventions around the world that are coming up, and I want to say Sony is skipping them. Like, they're not presenting. They don't have a conference or anything at any of them. I mean, they're probably going to have booths there, but they won't be showcasing anything like they do at E3 or PSX. So hopefully this means we're in for a big surprise in December.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with all the free stuff that they give for registering and attending the event, I think that was pretty innovative for us to go around to try each one of the games, and you get something or some sort of reward out of it. And that's where it gave us the exposure to play all these games. So if they're holding back, I'm glad that they're holding back, because now we can find out what's going on and what's happening at this event in real time versus watching it in some other place or a different event.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. I think, that was a great incentive. You're right. They had these collectible cards that were trophies, physical trophies at PSX, and they had a certain number of requirements you had to do to get the cards. So there was a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, right? And then maybe for the bronze, you had to play 5 demos on the show floor. Silver, you had to play 10 and then go to the Capcom Cup or something. For the gold, you had to play 15 demos, go to the Capcom Cup, and then get a signature or something like that. And then platinum, you had to play 25 games on the show floor. Safe to say we all got platinums. So that means we were out there legitimately playing all these games on the show floor, man.
Yep.
And you compare that to what we did at E3, where there wasn't really an incentive like that. So we only played maybe 4 or 5 demos. The 2 days I was there, I think I only played maybe 4 or 5 games.
Dude, I don't even think I was able to play any of the games. The lines were so long, or you either had to schedule for an event, schedule for a game just to be able to play the game itself. So, going back to PlayStation Experience, it's just the ability to line up to try the things you want to try, whether there's an incentive or not. I look forward to that.
Yeah. I think as long as there's an incentive there, maybe if there was a similar incentive from PSX at E3, I definitely would have played more games. I think the only reason we were at the what booth was that? Naruun booth at E3 was because of that cow. I played way more Harvest Moon than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For the cow, and then we played.
Yep.
We played Final Fantasy and got the T-shirt. So I think as long as there's a good incentive, I'm down. You know what I mean? I'm totally down for it. If it's not a game I'm dying to play, as long as that incentive's there, then I'm down. So it's coming up, man. December. It's almost the end of August already. How crazy is that, by the way?
I know. It's already almost Comic-Con is tomorrow, by the way.
No, registration for Comic-Con is tomorrow, by
I
the
know.
way.
Holy shit, dude.
This year is just flying by, man. Speaking about the end of August, next month is September. Then on September 6th, Destiny 2 drops. We're going to continue our countdown. This episode is going to drop on August 21st. So from then, it'll be 16 days. 16 days from when this episode comes out to the release of Destiny 2, man. It came super quick.
I think so too, especially with all the memories we had going through Destiny 1, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that all of the people that were previously playing before, they're going to hop back into it and, you know, we're going to form a bunch of teams and all, but I just like playing with everybody.
Yeah, that's definitely a good time. So I can't wait for that either, for everybody to jump on and play. I know I'm in a group chat with some people that I used to raid with, and they want to get another raid together before Destiny 2 comes out. And of course, everybody's kind of lazy, doesn't really want to jump on or anything like that. I mean, we don't need any gear. We're all light level 400. But when I did jump on, there was only 2 other people, so we did the Nightfall Strike, and this might be the first time I've played Destiny in maybe 3 or 4 months, man.
Wow.
But it still felt fun, you know. We were there messing around. I mean, we died a couple times, but we weren't letting that bother us. We're just having a good time with it, you know. And I just got reminded about how smooth the gameplay is, the shooting, and the variety in the weapons and skills you have. One thing that was great was I had the unlimited backflips as a hunter. I could roll as many times as I want. Like fucking Destiny 2, where the cooldown was like 5 minutes for one roll.
Damn.
It was horrible, man. It was horrible. But no, definitely had good times, and I just can't wait for that fresh new feeling like you enjoy so much, that feeling of exploration, you know, into this new world. So super hyped for September 6th, man. It's coming quick. Super quick.
Are they going to be transferring any of our stats or at least the avatar from our Destiny 1 to Destiny 2?
Hell no.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you ever played I know, that's what I was thinking too, because after we finished the Nightfall, we went over to the tower and just reminiscing about all the gear we got and, you know, the stories behind it. And then we got to looking at emotes too. You know, there's those dances that they came out with. They came out with the Shia LaBeouf Just Do It. I think you could dab now in Destiny. And think, you know, people spent real money on this stuff. It doesn't
Exactly.
None of even the cosmetic stuff carries over to Destiny 2, I don't think. So that kind of sucks, man. I mean, if you were able to carry your dance moves over, that would be a consolation from everything else. I mean, I understand the story. They blow up the vault where we hid all our guns, so we can't get our guns back in armor. But come on, man. At least let my guy dab. If I have it in Destiny 1, let me dab in Destiny 2. What the fuck? So we'll see. Just more microtransactions, man. More money for Activision, bro.
I know. I was like already looking into applying for a job at Activision. I was like, man, it looks like it didn't get really good company reviews from the employees because they work long hours. And
Oh, really?
the management is a little in disarray. But I was like, man, I would like to actually be part of that team so that way I can say, oh, yeah, I was there before it released, or I helped make the decision to keep all of the dabs from Destiny 1. You know?
Well, you know for sure you'll be making money over there, man. Activision is fucking printing money over there. I don't know if they're doing loot boxes in Call of Duty World War II, but all the microtransactions they have in all their other games, man, and people are still buying that shit. It's wild, man. So at least you'll know
exactly.
You'll get some good bonus checks out there if you get that job, dude. But yeah, man. So Destiny 2, excited. Played a little bit of Destiny this week. What have you been playing this week, dude?
The only games I've really been playing is just on my phone. No, I haven't. No, I've been playing Honey Pop. I wanted to make sure I got all of the characters.
Yes, dude.
Because, you know, seriously, we ended up chasing one of the girls, but it was a pretty much of a letdown, I would say, from her story, end. So I was like, okay, I want to see what the other girls are like. So I ended up going through the entire game for each of the girl, and I ended up beating or unlocking all of the girls. And then I learned after done all that, there's like 3 extra girls that you have to beat or date. And one of them is the goddess of love. The other one is a cat girl.
Of course, the fucking cat girl in Honey Pop.
And one of them is an alien. So I think the hard one to unlock was actually the alien, because there's like certain conditions you had to do in order to unlock her.
Mm-hmm.
But for the other 2, it was pretty easy to unlock. And if you unlock the cat girl, you get an achievement, which is pretty much like a stain on your record. So it says it's
a stain. It's a negative trophy.
I don't know how you can get rid of it, but now it says like I have an achievement of bestiality. So I don't know. I was like, holy shit. But it was kind of true, because like when you date the cat girl, you don't think of like anime cat girls where they're acting like normal human girls,
Mm-hmm.
This girl was actually kind of acting like a cat. She would ask like cat questions. She would answer in cat answers, like you ask her how old she is, and she was like, I'm 1 year old in cat years. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't know the translation of how long a cat year is in 1 human year. But my goal for Conquest was to get all of the girls, and of course, when you finish each girl, you get their panties or whatnot.
Okay.
And you collect all of them, and once you collect all of them, you give the panties to who's that? The fairy chick.
Okay,
and she unlocks alpha mode or whatnot, and that's pretty much where I just left off. I was like, I feel accomplished. I'm done. I don't need to get the rest of the trophies or the achievements, because I'm not going after the achievements. I was just going after conquering all of the girls.
Yeah, you just wanted those ending screens, man, right?
Yeah, maybe, sure.
Wait, what's alpha mode?
Alpha mode, when I was reading up on it, it's like you keep dating all the girls, and you know how the score goes higher, or the bar gets higher to complete the date.
Okay, yeah. You need more points in the puzzle to be successful at the date as time goes on.
Exactly. So mine is already capped at, or it's at like I think around 5,000.
Oh like my god, bro!
And I hear it keeps going up until you can't beat it. So that's what alpha mode is essentially. And I learned that if you go on a date again with the girl you already conquered, you'll get the same scene at the end. So because I was kind of experimenting with that, but essentially I've accomplished my goal, and that was the game I've been mostly focused on.
So you unlocked. You got all the pictures in your phone and stuff like that?
I think I have. I've mainly got all
they have
of them.
like an album, right? And you can fill that out with like
yeah. So I got most of it, or most of all of the screenshots. I just haven't. I even got all of their data too, with asking the questions and all that.
Shit.
But, I just couldn't get all of their outfits, and I was like, nah, I think I'm done. Once you conquer the girl, you're like, yeah, I'm done. My one night stand is over.
So sav, bro. I'm done. It's okay. All right. So the real question now. Real question: who has the best ending scene?
Wait, then let me think about it now.
Oh, what? You gotta think about it. There's no clear winner.
The thing is, I'm mixing it in. I'm judging it by, the sounds they made and the pictures. So I think the most raunchiest ones were like, maybe the quiet ones. I don't remember, So, remember that mean chick, the one with the red hair?
The mean chick with the red hair. Oh, the one that did drugs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. She was actually kind of like really aggressive in that scene, but I think the other ones were pretty loud, so I had to like put on headphones and shit like that. So
You're just over here continuously looking over your shoulder, like, oh, is anybody seeing me play this shit?
yeah, exactly. Because since I live in an apartment, you can kind of hear what's going on in the next area, next room, and I don't want that shit to be blasting loud and like. But anyways, yeah, the scenes were pretty good. And you remember the flight attendant chick, the one that Lola.
Oh yeah. The first one we ever meet.
Yeah, so apparently you can change the hair, and I managed to get the hair that we thought was pretty cool. The one with like really long and curly hair.
Oh, okay.
I think she looks better than that. But anyways, I beat the game. I'm pretty much done. The achievements, the other achievements are fucking hard as shit. You have to like, I don't know, date all the girls or get laid within like a week and like work within 14 days or something like that.
Holy shit.
I was like, nah, that's kind of way too impossible for me. But
that's speedrun.
That's the game. Yeah, that's the game I've been playing. Or I've finished playing.
Speaking of, man, an idea I've always had that Sony needs to jump on this. Xbox, Steam, everybody, man. You give us these achievements and these trophies. Let us use them as a status or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, dude, I
that
even
would be
filed
so sick.
Not a complaint, but like a suggestion on PlayStation, their board, their idea board.
Mm-hmm.
I said, why don't we have the ability to wear our trophies?
Exactly.
Like some of them are pretty crazy trophies. Like, I think some I've seen, like it was like King of Pervert or something like that. It's just random trophies I would like to wear. Like Ace Combat, Ace of the Skies or something like that, or One Shot Sniper or something.
That'd be and it's if you're on PlayStation Home or something or a game and it has your username, A New Perfect Day or Boo-Wop, it'll show Boo-Wop. I don't know, bestiality, if I got that achievement in Honey Pop. You know what I mean? You could like wear it like that, like a badge, like it shows your achievement essentially in that game, and you see a cool one and people ask about like, oh man, where'd you get that trophy from? And then you tell them, oh, I got it from this game, and then that'll make them want to play the game so I can get that trophy, dude.
Exactly.
They should be able
that would be a great idea.
That would be fucking amazing, man. Whoever does it first, man, I got you 100% of the way. Steam, anybody.
I think I filed that idea like almost 4 or 5 years ago. I was like,
dude,
man, this would be a great idea.
Yeah, man, they need to listen. I think that stems, at least for me, from, City Heroes, right? Where you get badges for doing certain things, and then you could wear that badge and it would say, your hero's name and then the badge underneath it or something like that.
Exactly. So, and then heroes would like hit you up like, oh, how did you get that badge?
Yep.
Stuff like that. It's it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So same idea, but for friggin' trophies, dude. Just let us do it. They already have cool naming conventions for the trophies, anyways. Might as well. There's like one of those OG trophies that says the trophy is just completed chapter 1. So you shows your name, Boo-Wop, completed chapter 1, and that's it, dude. That would be cool too. Just troll it up, man. Just troll it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about, you been playing your ninja dating games, man? You're on your mobile or anything like that too?
Nah. I just been mainly focused on, back then I was focused on Honey Pop and completing it. And then after that, I just went on a anime spurge. So I was just watching a bunch of anime, and some of this anime is about eating. And so I was like, ooh, this makes my dining experience amazing if you watch a food anime and you eat at the same time. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. But I was trying to get into actually playing Bloodborne again and finishing up Batman. So I have to work on that this weekend. So that way I can have more to talk about, more stuff to to finish off my backlog and all that.
For sure. Which Batman?
Uh, Arkham City, or no, not City.
Oh, okay.
Or was it Night? The
The
latest
one, the one that's on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Nice, dude.
I think I was like, there's like a scene. I had to disable some of Scarecrow's bombs, fear gas, and Joker kept popping up in my screen. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Interesting. That one. Okay, spoilers maybe for that game, but the Joker's dead, right? He's just in Batman's mind in that game.
Spoilers, yes.
Okay.
Well, for now, yeah. It's just the fear gas getting to him. So
Oh, so Batman's hallucinating that Joker's still
yeah,
out there. Ah, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I think I like
yeah.
that.
And there's like a quick time event of that stuff. Like he's interfering with me, disarming the fear gas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I failed a couple of times where the Joker like won, and then the gas bombs went off in the city. So
That's actually pretty cool. That's a cool way of representing how that fear gas works. Just having the Joker there. That's what Batman's greatest fear is: a Joker fucking him up when he's trying to disarm a bomb or something like that.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
exactly.
I like that. So me, I've been playing Bloodborne. I've actually been streaming it. I just bought the DLC. Dude, you inspired me to play this game again, man.
I want to watch you play it, but my poopy internet, bro.
Oh, dude, don't worry. You're not missing much. I'm just getting my ass kicked, bro. So,
couple of months.
The DLC. Oh, yeah, dude. You move out and get better internet in October. Let's go, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait, man.
Amazing, dude.
You're like a dog on a leash, dude. On a short leash. That's your internet. Once you move, you'll be able to roam the fucking forest and wildlands. Just explore, dude, without your leash.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've been playing Bloodborne. Play a couple hours every night here and there. Picked up the DLC, and it's really good. I think there's 5 or 6 bosses, and I'm on the last 2. The boss I'm on is called the Orphan of Kos, and I've been stuck on him for 2 days. Legitimately, yeah. I think I put in a couple hours the first night I ever ran into him, and then an hour on Thursday, and then spent the rest of the time. I realized I didn't even know. My boy Jeff, shout outs to Jeff, by the way, he put me on game that you can farm for stronger attachments to your weapons and things like that. There's these blood gems that you can put onto your weapons that give it status effects or make them stronger. And he gave me this chalice where you could farm for some good ones. So I did that for maybe 2 hours on Thursday too, just trying to get some good attachments for my weapon.
What is the chalice? Is that like an extra area for one of the gravestones?
Yeah. So they're extra areas. I think they're procedurally generated, so they're random. And I think it adds a little bit of backstory. I'm not sure. I know there's trophies attached to completing the chalices, but it's infinite. Like you could just keep making new chalices, have different floors and stuff. And the one I'm farming, this guy made it, and he decided to share it with everybody because you're guaranteed to get a strong blood gem from it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And apparently there's a whole community of people that have their chalices up and say, oh yeah, if you beat the first boss, you get this weapon or you get this attachment or this item. And they just share it with everybody else in the community. So it's pretty cool. I think it just added more longevity to the game too. I think there's a lot more PvP in there and cooperation. It's a lot of hidden stuff down there too. I think they have hidden walls there, where in Bloodborne there's not normally any hidden walls. Like in Dark Souls where you hit a wall and it just vanishes and you can walk through to a new area. There's nothing like that in Bloodborne, but in the Chalice dungeons there is. So it adds a lot more gameplay, I guess. There's a lot more environments you can go through. So it's pretty fun, man. I think if you haven't been through it, definitely try it out. There's some interesting bosses in there. Down there is one of the hardest bosses I've ever fought. I think I spent 4 hours fighting him, and it was horrible, dude. Because I was trying to. It was the last day I ever wanted to play Bloodborne for a while, and I wanted to platinum it. And one of the Chalice dungeons, it removes half your health just right off the bat. It's kind of like a a handicap they give you is they cut your health in half. So there's this one boss that just killed me in one hit all day, every day with the most bullshit stuff.
Oh no!
So I wanted to platinum the game before I stopped streaming. So I was stuck on this boss for maybe 4 hours. There was a boss after him I was stuck on for 2 hours. It was like a 10-hour stream, dude. It was fucking horrible.
God damn.
But I got the platinum, and the last boss I needed for the platinum, I just one shot. It was ridiculous, bro. But yeah, challenge dungeons are fun. I definitely suggest checking them out, or recommend checking them out if you haven't yet. You have all the materials to go in there too. I think you pick them up as you do the story, so it's good times, man. Hard bosses, but good times.
Checking out those gravestones, but it looked like it was gonna send me somewhere, so I was like, nope, I don't think I need to do this yet.
Yeah, it's completely optional, but it's fun. Like I said, it adds longevity to the game, so there's a lot more stuff to do. So yeah, other than getting my ass kicked in Bloodborne, just the usual, man. Still gambling in Final Fantasy until my time runs out. I think I got another month, so that's cool. Just in time for Destiny 2 to come out, so I can spend all my time on that.
Oh yeah, I was actually just playing with mining and changing my clothes around. So
did you do the Moonfire Fair stuff?
Not yet. I think I'm just gonna give up on it because it's like I already have swimming trunks from the previous 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I need this swimming trunks because I don't know.
Dude, have you seen them? They're not even swimming trunks, man. It's
They look like a coat with no shirt.
Speedo. Yeah, it's a Speedo with pant legs. It's a Speedo attached to chaps or something. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever. And then yeah, you're right.
I know.
The shirt part is like a collar and sleeves, and that's it. Like your chest is so short. I don't fucking know how they designed this shit, man. But I guess watch 20 years from now, that's what everybody wears to the beach. Square is just ahead of the time, dude, in designing clothing and shit, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just been gambling in that. Oh, and I finished my placement matches in Lucio Ball.
Oh really? Or are you like Grandmaster and
dude,
shit?
you're talking to a diamond ranked Lucio Ball player right now, bro. Ask about it. Diamond ranked.
Holy shit.
It's so funny, dude. It's so funny. So then the crazier part is once I finished my placement matches, I played a couple games. Holy shit, people are good at fucking Lucio Ball. Remember I was complaining about how, oh, dude, people suck. Nobody knows how to play Lucio Ball anymore. I'm getting my ass kicked now, dude. People are running off the walls and jumping off and hitting the ball down into the goal now. Like the ball never touches the floor anymore. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I know. Now I'm thinking, I was thinking maybe I could grind to master or grandmaster or something like that. Whatever's after diamond. And after playing a couple games, I was like, okay, nah, I'm cool. I'll just keep my rank where it's at, dude.
Holy shit.
But it's good times, man. I think it's fun gameplay. They should just make it a permanent thing. Lucio Ball's super fun, man. Especially if they're gonna have competitive rankings on it, dude. Just keep it forever, man. It's good times.
Yeah, exactly.
Last thing I was playing in preparation for Uncharted Lost Legacy, which comes out on Tuesday. Oh, dude, I can't wait.
Oh man,
it's another reason I need to beat those bosses in Bloodborne, dude, so I can start playing Lost Legacy when it comes out. But there's an Uncharted game I never played, Golden Abyss on the PS Vita.
The PS Vita, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was like number one, but a little toned down from the first version.
I want to say it came out after number 2. And I think it's a prequel. Like it happens before the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been playing it like at work a little bit here and there on my breaks and stuff. I've been actually using my Vita, which is awesome. Initially, I wanted to stream it, you know, and I thought I could because I have a PS TV, right? That little box where you could put your PS Vita memory card in and play PS Vita games on your TV.
Yeah.
Come to find out,
it's not compatible.
It's not compatible. You can only play, I think, 20% of the PS Vita games on PS TV. It doesn't make any sense. Why even have a PS TV, dude?
Use of that?
What do you even use it for? And I was thinking, okay, maybe I can watch Netflix or use the apps. I think there's a Skype app on there too, or I can look at my trophies or something. You can't even use the Netflix app on PSTV.
Oh my
What the
god.
fuck are you supposed to do with this thing, man? Fortunately, I got it on
Exactly,
sale
like
for like $30, but come on, man.
yeah, like the Japanese commercial back in the day when for the Vita TV thing, it was like go anywhere, you can pause your game, you can go to a friend's house and play it on their TV, Vita TV kind of thing, but I guess that's not really the case, you know? It's like you have to pull out your memory card or something like that and then
Yeah,
plug in a controller. Uh,
exactly. So what are you gonna do? Pause your game, take out the memory card, crash all your files, then plug it into your TV where you find out it doesn't work. I
yeah,
don't. PlayStation 2 just
exactly.
doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that thing. I mean, and I guess it makes sense that you can't play. Well, no, it doesn't make sense because there's some things you have to do where you tilt the PS Vita, and then Drake will tilt one way or another.
Uh-huh.
Dude, the PlayStation 4 controls, which is what you use with the PS TV, they have that. You know, like Wing Commander, or what was that one game you played that was only multiplayer? Warhawk. Is that what it's called?
Warhawk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't there tilting the controller in that?
Yeah, there was. And that was for when you're flying the jet.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also not a I guess PS Vita has a touch screen, but I haven't been able to, or there's no reason to use that in Uncharted. Um, there is parts where you have to climb, and there's a touchpad on the back of the Vita that you have to use.
Is that like the R2 button or the back buttons?
I think so. Well, no, the whole back pad of the Vita is a touch thing, and it's interactive.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
and you could just use the touchpad on the PS4 controller to imitate that stuff. So I have no idea what they're thinking. And from all counts and purposes and all news I've read, they're not even trying to update the Vita software or the PlayStation TV software anymore. So I
Yeah, I
guess I'm
think
just
they scrapped it all together or something like that.
just asked out $30, man. I can't do anything with this thing. It's fucking horrible, bros. But yeah, so that's the games I'm playing this week. Last week, we talked a lot about Bloodborne. This week, I want to take it back a little bit, man. Take it back to the good old days of video gaming, in arcades, dude. Back then,
Woo!
there was SNES out, Sega Genesis, and things like that. All 16, 18-bit games that came out. When you went to the arcade, they had these huge boxes where you could play Virtua Fighter and 3D games and stuff like that. And they were way better because they had these big ass boxes to hold all the hardware inside.
Yep.
So we always went there to see what was up and coming, what was the latest and greatest in video games, man. I know there were a couple out here that I went to a lot. Tilt at Plaza Bonita, I think I mentioned last week, and Wonderland over in Sweetwater. What was your experience like going to arcades as a kid back in the day?
I would say my first experience I've ever encountered with an arcade stick was there was a pizza place down the street from my place,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it was like me and my cousin and a couple other my friends at the time were going to the pizza place just to have pizza, and that's where we first saw I think it was Marvel versus Capcom,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
Pac-Man next to it. So, you know, it was the whole quarter system where you enter a quarter, and that's where I learned about where the people that were in line they would place their quarter on top of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
to show that they're in line. And I thought that was pretty cool at the time, but we spent most of our days just going to that pizza place, not even ordering pizza, just to play the arcades. And that's what really got me more hooked into playing more stuff like that. So, as we growing up, we go to like Chuck E. Cheese, for example, and there's more arcade games there. And then you go to the mall and you encounter Tilt with more advanced arcades and everything alike. And just the memories of your childhood of like all the buzzing sounds, all of the
Mm-hmm.
noise, all of the excitement. It was like really popular at the time. And I remember when DDR like started
Oh yeah,
taking
that was the
off.
big one. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, that's when like everybody and their baby's mama knew how to dance in DDR, and I was the only one that wasn't coordinated enough to dance well. So like, I would just play the racing games while everybody would crowd around the most coolest dance revolution player, you know. So I was like, I had that pet peeve. I was like, man, I want to be that cool person where the whole crowd surrounds you and they're like, oh, he did this cool move and shit like that. But it was really cool and all. I was mostly into the racing arcade games, and I don't remember what type of game it was, but I just remember having a blast playing with my friends in a bunch of racing games, especially like Initial D, for example, where everyone had
Mm-hmm.
their own card and all that. And as we were growing up, it was just you just start to learn about the games that on the consoles and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty cool that arcades are still around and all, but yep.
Yeah, I feel you. That was kind of revolutionary too, having a save file in an arcade game like that. You had your car that you built and bought parts for in Initial D, and it gave you this card that you could just take to any Initial D arcade console, and you could play on there and just carry all your stats over. That's pretty crazy, huh? I never thought about it
Exactly.
like that. Um, but yeah, same thing with me. I remember going to Wonderland a lot, and it really didn't start to get popping until Dance Dance Revolution. I think normally you didn't see that many people in arcades, just the same few people, and then Dance Dance Revolution came out, and everybody was out there, dude, just doing their thing.
Yep.
Um, I think I know what pizza place you're talking about, isn't it? It's a Mexican place now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. I played Marvel vs. Capcom in the laundromat over by the two-story McDonald's, and I think there was one in Zapata's too that I always used to play at. It was, I don't know if it was, it might have been Virtual Fighter at Zapata's actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah, dude, those were my first days of remembering arcade games too. Was just waiting for the laundry to get done or ordering Mexican food. You just beg for quarters. You beg for quarters, which seems like so much money back in the day because you would rarely get one.
Exactly.
Right. Well, yeah, Dance Dance Revolution took off, and then I think there was maybe a DJ game, or there was a game where there were sensors, and you just put your hands through the sensors. I remember that one started popping off too. Um, but yeah, arcades used to be just the place to go, right? Just to hang out. They put arcades in the front of movie theaters and stuff too. So while you're waiting for your movie, you could play. The games I loved were Time Crisis or any game with a gun, because you could never play those at
Oh
home. You
yeah,
know what I
Time
mean?
Crisis. Yeah,
You can
I
never play
remember
those at
that.
home. The only place to really play those was in the arcade. So I love those. Those I played a lot, and those cost $1 to play, man. How bad was that when you're waiting for a movie or something to do and you get 75 cents? So you're like, all right, I guess I'll play Turtles in Time. I don't have to play Time Crisis today. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all those gun games are the ones that I really played a lot in the arcades. Although you got nothing for them. I remember the goal all the time was to get tickets so you can get a stuffed animal or something to take home. From the arcade, or you wouldn't even get that much. You would get enough for maybe a bouncy ball or one of those fucking sticky hands that stuck to stuff, got dirty after 2 days, and you couldn't use it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
um, but yeah, those were the places to go to play games that you couldn't play at home, whether it was because technology wasn't up to date yet, or you just couldn't have that rig of a gun shooting your TV screen. I think eventually I got Time Crisis on PlayStation. Um, but I think that ruined your TV. That, and you had to calibrate the gun every time, and that was a whole process in itself, dude. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So arcade was definitely the place to play that. Now I feel at least arcades are growing up with us. First we had, like you said, the places that were based off of the quarters. You put the coins in them, and actually they only took quarters. right? You couldn't put
Yep.
2 dimes and a nickel in that bitch. That shit wouldn't work at all, man.
Only quarters.
Only
Yep.
quarters, you
Not
know.
25 pennies, but quarters.
They had the change machines, and then those guys with the little coin dispensers in their waist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that OG stuff. But we grew from there, right? We grew from there to places like Dave and Buster's, where you didn't need quarters anymore. They gave you the little swipe cards, right? You remember the first time you ever went to a Dave and Buster's or any place like that?
Yeah, like a while back, you just have that card where you load it up with coins or whatnot, and you play the amount of games you have depending on the coins and stuff. But it was cool. It just made me reminisce about the times when we used to play arcade games a lot. Especially, I would like to say there's this time when I was at the mall with Eric and Alan, and I don't remember why we were there, but we were there since the opening of the mall. And back in the day, this was like, I think, during middle school, so we didn't have a ride to leave the mall. So we were stuck at the mall all day. We were stuck at the mall from opening to close. And
Holy
so I
shit.
remember, yeah, dude.
You just
our
didn't take the
feet were
bus?
so fucking tired. I don't remember why we didn't take the bus, but we were waiting on getting a ride, which the ride was like right when the mall closed. And so we walked around the mall like I don't know, maybe like 300 times, 30 times, but we were at Tilt like the entire time. We played almost every game at Tilt because we were so bored. So I think at that point I was kind of getting tired from playing arcade games, and maybe that was the cause of me falling out of it. But yeah, that was my experience at the mall.
What the fuck? Okay, dude. I was gonna say, for me, I think for another, video games at home just got better. There was no point in going to the arcades anymore to
pretty
keep on
much.
spending all these quarters on just limited enjoyment when we can go home and play a game that's 100 times better. I think technology killed arcades.
Yeah, the convenience
think-
of technology and playing online with other people.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said too, you played a lot of racing games. I played a lot of Time Crisis back in the era. At least those were our go-to favorite games at the arcades. Now you can have those setups on your computer. There's people that have whole rigs where they have a gas pedal and the whole thing moves when they turn now at the house. They have a cockpit to play those racing games, or
Exactly.
they have that technology now where you could shoot the gun and all that stuff onto your screen. It's not that much of a hassle anymore. So
And some people are like buying the actual arcade and like bringing it home.
Yeah, they'll get their own arcade sticks. I remember my experience with that, man. When I got my first job at Belmont Park over in Mission Beach, and they used to have an arcade there called Pirates Cove, but they closed it down right before I started working there. It was similar to Chuck E. Cheese. They had Play Place and arcade machines and things like that. You could rent out a room for a birthday party or something. But when I first started working there, they had already closed it down. So they had all these extra arcade machines that they really didn't do anything with. So they put them in the break room, and
Ooh.
they unscrewed the top portion where the joysticks are. So you could
Yeah.
lift it up and then just press the little jumper that gave you lives, or that would activate when a coin rolled through the slot. So we just pressed that a million times to get a bunch of lives. And yeah, we had Turtles in Time, I think Pac-Man, Galaga, that whole thing that was in one tower. Yeah. And every day, Street Fighter was there too, Street Fighter 2. So during breaks we would just have tournaments and stuff. And then I actually finished Turtles in Time because I never had that on Nintendo or Genesis back in the day. So I finished Turtles in Time during a 1-hour lunch break one time. And then, yeah, like I said, technology just got better, so we didn't even bother with that anymore. I remember the day a person came in with their little PlayStation Portal. You remember those, dude? The small white PlayStation ones? And then it had that.
Oh, I used to have that. The PlayStation
Yeah.
one. It's called. I think it was just PS1 or something like that.
Yeah. One, like, spelled out. And then he had
Yeah.
the little monitor for it, too, that
Yep.
slid up, and it was circular. I remember that day he brought in Street Fighter Alpha or Third Strike or something like that, and we just played that. There's all these arcade cabinets sitting against the wall, and we're gathered around this small ass screen playing Street Fighter on PlayStation controllers. So I think that right there is an analogy of how technology kind of kills arcades. The latest and greatest wasn't at the arcades anymore. You could all play that at home. Even if you wanted to play a fighting game, they had fighting sticks that you could plug into your PlayStation now.
Yeah, and I also think that also what contributed to that too was it costs a lot now to play an arcade game. Back in the day, it was just a quarter. But then when the prices started rising, to almost $2 to $1.75, people were very reserved or very hesitant to play a game because they're like, oh, maybe I can get a double cheeseburger for $2 rather than playing one play of a game.
That's when you realize, that's when you realize, man, that quarter really was expensive. Maybe that's a good thing. I didn't get a quarter that day. I wouldn't have been able to eat the next night. But that was a good thing. That was the trick or the illusion of the cards, right? Because you never really understood how much money you were spending, right? I never put $20 on a card and I thought every time I swiped, oh man, that's $2 off of my card to play this game. You know what I mean? You don't really feel like you're using money, but those points are the coins in the card to play. So that was super tricky by arcades to do that, to incorporate the card. So it really didn't feel like you were spending money. So you didn't have to say, oh, this game costs 16.7 coins. Damn, that's like a Happy Meal. I shouldn't play this game. You had already spent it, so you might as well play, right?
Yeah.
I think now, too, especially since arcades have started to die out, they've come up with great ways to stay alive. I think even now, I'll say with the rise of barcades, where it's a bar and there's a bunch of arcade games in there. Have you ever been to any of these? I know out here in San Diego, there's Coin Op in North Park, and then there's Brewski's in Mira Mesa, too. And in Brewski's, all the games are free. You just press start and start playing the game, man.
Oh, I haven't been to Brewski's, but I know I've been to Coin Op, and I think it was for somebody's birthday. Mm-hmm. It might have been your birthday, actually. Did you host a birthday party at Coin Op?
That sounds familiar. Yeah, you know what? I think I did 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, we were all up there. It was mad packed that night, too, I remember.
Yeah, we were only there for a little bit because it was super crazy packed, and I think once we played all 10 arcade, we were like, okay, we're ready to go. So I think that, yeah, it was pretty cool and all. And it's still popular, too. I think it's getting more popular with, a bar and a arcade together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I think, it's no fun when it's busy over there, because then you really have to wait forever to play a game. But I've been there on an off night, and yeah, it's super fun. You just get the whole place yourself. You get to play all the games. Couple that with beer now that we're older, just makes it that much more amazing of a time, right?
Yeah, one of my ideas is actually to create a restaurant, something like Dave and Buster's, but you don't really go, to different arcades to play. The arcade is in the center of the table. So while you're waiting for your meal, you can be playing Pac-Man or Super Mario or I don't know, Super Smash Bros. While waiting for your meal and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll have enough money to make that idea come true. And I'll implement our boba margaritas.
Nah, man, the secret's out on that already, man.
Yeah, I know. I see it everywhere now. Holy shit! Damn it.
So, wait, would the TVs be in the tables, or would they be just on the wall or something?
I would probably it's gonna have to be on the wall, so that way everybody's looking left or looking right wherever they're sitting. But yeah, it might have to be on the wall, but. It's just you always sit at a table and everybody's always looking at their phone. You might as well just do something together, whether it's just playing a game, get people off their phone, stuff like that.
I feel that. Yeah, have them interact with each other, I guess, and playing video games rather than just hanging out on their phones.
Exactly.
It's not a bad idea, dude. You can do that even easier now with Jeff was showing me RetroPie. Raspberry Pi, that little chip that
Yeah.
you can
Oh yeah,
customize and do
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
things with. Yeah, it's super easy now to get every game ever created for NES, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis all on one little microchip and just play it.
What? Where do
Yeah.
you play it at? Like, where do you hook it up to?
Oh, dude, there's a HDMI plug, so you can just plug it into your TV.
What?
Yeah, and then it's got USB, so I think the video I watched, somebody was using their Xbox One controller to play it, and
Damn.
it's compatible with your PlayStation 4 controller as well, so it's wild, man. Yeah. It's not that crazy to actually do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Your idea of that restaurant, you could fucking do it on the cheap too. I think the starter kit for the Raspberry Pi is maybe $50, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, the Raspberry Pi is pretty cheap, so that's probably a good investment to do.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've always had a good time at those barcades. I know I went to one in Chicago called the Emporium Bar, and that just had every game that ever came out on arcade in it, and that's where I realized too, or I remember that the pinball culture was so huge. You know what I mean? People would always try to beat the high scores and shit. The biggest crowd I saw at this barcade was over by the pinball machine, dude. I think it was Terminator 2 or something. And there were like 30 people gathered around watching this guy try to beat the high score. So those are good times, and it's good, especially for us. We grew up going to arcades because they had the latest and greatest. Now we can be nostalgic about it, but at the same time, be adults and drink beer and have a night out. You know what I'm saying? So exactly. I think whoever made the first one, amazing idea, dude. You are amazing. Last thing I want to bring up is the future of arcades, man. What do you think the place for them is in the future? I think it's gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna see a resurgence here in a little bit, man. At least in America. I know in Japan and Asia, arcades are crazy, right? I mean, you've been to Japan. What was the arcade like there? Did you go to one?
Yeah. The thing is, like, it was moderately crowded for in the arcades in Japan. No matter what arcades you went to, we went to a couple of them, and they're moderately populated. But it seems like the arcades that I've experienced here in America, it's I don't know. It seems like there's not that many people that are still playing. When I go to Dave and Buster's just to hang out, there's not that many people I see. I don't know if I'm going on the wrong time or the off time, or when it's not really crowded. But there's this one mall. I think I forget the name of it. It's probably Coin Up. Not Coin Up, but it's like a mall, and it has like a giant arcade place with a bowling alley and pool area.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there recently with Eric and Russ and Dustin, and once we were there, the place is huge. There's just nothing but like arcades. Half of it's like Japanese arcades, half of it's like stuff you don't even understand. All that. Lights were buzzing and everything. But the thing was, it was like there was maybe only like 10 people in the entire place. So I don't know if we were just there during when it's not crowded or not, but the last couple of times I've been there, I've never seen it crowded. So I'm like wondering, I was like, is it just it's not as popular, or we're going at the wrong times? But I think that since technology is growing, people rather prefer to stay at home, play games on their computers, consoles, and whatnot, or maybe they don't have the time to go down and hang out with people, or maybe they only hang out at the arcades like once a week kind of thing, versus how we used to do it, where we used to like, hey, you want to go arcade tonight, or you want to do this like every 4 days, go to the arcade kind of stuff. So I don't know, what's your opinion on that stuff?
I feel you. Yeah, because back then it felt like arcades were the place to hang out. You
Exactly.
didn't even really have to play the games, just be there with your friends, and one or two of them would play games, and you guys would just hang out together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't think it'll ever go back to the glory days of that, where it'll be filled to the brim with people and it's a hangout spot. But I definitely think there's going to be a resurgence here in a little bit for arcades. And I think its history is just going to repeat itself. You know, we used to go to arcades, like I said, to play games that we couldn't play at home. With especially that video you sent me last week of those guys playing Mario Kart, I think VR going into arcades is going to be a huge thing. You know, not everybody can afford a computer and a graphics card to play VR at home, so the place to experience it will be at an arcade. And I think there's even places that aren't just arcades, it's a storefront where all you do is you go play that VR game. You know what I mean? I think I've seen one at a mall where they just have the VR set up and a little rig so you can feel the ship moving where you go. And that's all they do, you know? It's like, I think it's over $10 to play that stuff. But I think shortly here, we'll see a small resurgence in the arcade scene, at least, just to bring the, you know, the VR stuff into light. I don't know why people are pushing VR so hard, because I never really got it. Did you ever get super into VR? Or?
I'm just waiting for all the kinks and stuff to be worked out. And VR technology.
I think I'm waiting for something new. I mean, when we played Eve Valkyrie, that was great. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't spur me to go and buy VR. I'll just save that for the arcades, man. So I think that'll be the future of it. They might have to cut down on the prices though.
Oh yeah. Speaking of VR, like I remember there's a couple of times when we had some people visiting, like door-to-door salesmen, but they were actually for VR, and what they were doing was they were selling their services. So essentially, they set up like an area where people go to play VR and stuff like that. And I was like, man, maybe VR, they're really pushing for this kind of stuff. And I remember my friend, or my previous coworker, he was getting into VR. So like he was also trying to push VR as like an arcade kind of way. So maybe the technology for arcades is not depleting, but it's like shifting over to virtual reality. Because like, wouldn't it be cool if instead of playing like the pinball machine like you were talking about, but you're actually running away from a giant pinball?
yeah, you're in the ball or something, and when you see yourself reaching, you know, the death hole, you have to press a button to hit yourself away from it or something like that. Yeah, that could be the future. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, man. So it'll be interesting to see. I can't wait actually for that time, for it to get popping like it is, and for maybe a price decrease here and there. I think that'll be amazing, dude. I think that for sure will be the future of arcades, man.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see, man. I'm excited. The better technology gets, the more fun I think games are going to be. So, yeah, man. Now we'll get into a new segment. I know everybody hears us on the games we play every week, man, but I want to make some video game recommendations, man. So in this new segment, we'll just recommend one game each a week to whoever's listening for games that we've played that we think they should play too, man. So what do you got? Any good recommendations?
The thing is, I have a lot of recommendations.
Well, that's good, dude. You can split them up week by week. What's the one right now? The one that you
absolutely have to play. Can I describe this in like a couple of sentences? Can I go off in a tangent, or should I just like, oh yeah, you just gotta play this game?
Bro, this is like a radio commercial, man. You got 60 seconds to tell me why this game is so great and why I should play.
Oh, damn. I gotta sell you the game. Okay, so I don't know if the game is still online, but back in the day, I would recommend playing Warhawk. You know, even though it's only a multiplayer game, it had a lot of things from tanks to flying jets, and flying the jets was pretty cool because you can actually fly as a jet, but you can also switch into hover mode like a helicopter. And so mainly the game was to either play death matches or capture the flag, and the maps were so huge, it would literally take you almost 10 to 15 minutes to drive a vehicle across, and let alone run across with the flag. And so when you get the flag, everybody on the map knows that you got the flag. So you have
Just
the
following
whole,
you, watching
I don't
you.
know, all the
Yeah.
players swarming to you. Yeah, protecting you or whatnot, picking you up in a drop ship to fly you, and while jets are bombarding you with bombs and tanks coming after you, and it was just hectic, just like Battlefield, I would say. But I don't know, I really had a blast playing Warhawk, so I definitely
Okay.
recommend checking it
Recommend
out
that
if it still
for
exists.
epic multiplayer action.
Fuck yeah, dude. I sold my soul into
Nice,
that
man,
game.
nice. So my game recommendation is a little something off the cuff, man. It's called Day of the Tentacle. I played this game back in the day when I was a kid. It's a point and click adventure where it gives you options to, use something, push, pull something, open a door. And it's one big puzzle game that just has a great story. I don't know if you've ever played anything like Monkey Island or anything like that, but point and click adventures are super fun, and that was my first exposure to it, and just made me play everything else. I mean, this game is so great they remastered it. There's this room you have where there's a computer, and you can go in there and use the computer, and it has so Day of the Tentacle is a sequel to this game called Maniac's Mansion or something like that. You can use the computer in the video game and play Maniac's Mansion. It's that wild. So if you're in for a good story, quirky characters, it was made by LucasArts Games, so you already know it's going to be great. Definitely recommend checking that out. I know the remastered version is on Steam right now, but you can just download that shit for free anywhere, man. Not that I condone that, but yeah, that'll be my recommendation for sure.
I'm not affiliated with this person.
Especially since I think that's a game that not everybody's played. So yeah, man. So that is it for us. We'll keep recommending games for you guys once a week. Next week, something I want to talk about, something we've all seen, although they're maybe not that great, is video game movies, man. So make sure you come next week with like your favorite ones, bro, and your least favorite ones, man, because we know there's a lot of shit out there when it comes to video game movies, bro.
Exactly.
But yeah, before then, Rick, some words of wisdom?
Don't eat kimchi on an empty stomach. Otherwise, your butt will throw up.
Oh no! All right, guys.